What's up guys, Matt with BleepinJeep, everything off-road, none of the boring stuff. When I was at DBR getting the Comanche tuned, one of the things that David pointed out was that the intake temperatures were extremely high. Today we're going to see if we can solve that problem. Let's get started. One of the problems I had when stuffing an LS into a Comanche was the very limited space that there is under the hood here. And for that reason, there wasn't much left for air intake. So I just wrapped it around and stuck the intake, the air filter, right above the engine here. The problem with that is, it gets really hot inside here, and all that hot air is just sucked in by the intake. And as you know, a cold air intake leads to much better performance. Lucky for us, I've got these BleepinJeep hood louvers right here, and they happen to be right above the air filter. So, my plan is to build a custom air intake box that sucks air only from the outside. Let's do it.
So raise them up to the sky. This is a heist, this is a heist. You're only looking for one thing. You wanna steal my heart from me. I got in my love like it was for knocks. I kept it under lock and key. No breaking in, no heartbreaks again. Those bad boys and the scars they leave. But I better make out you walk by. But you saw something that you liked. Oh, you were armed and I was charmed, but you were a thief. So raise them up to the sky. This is a heist, this is a heist. So raise them up to the sky. This is a heist, this is a heist. You're only looking for one thing. You wanna steal my heart from me.
Ta-da! Check that out. Looks kind of steampunk. Maybe it's a little bit ugly, but I'm not too concerned about that because since this is made out of metal, it's going to soak up heat. So for that reason, I got this aluminum tape with fiberglass in it, and this is supposed to keep the radiant heat from absorbing into the metal. So let's put this on. Well, I have to say, that didn't improve it much in the looks department, but we'll just have to say that I'm going for function over form. I also bought a roll of fiberglass exhaust wrap, and I figured I could wrap the whole intake pipe with this. And I also bought a fiberglass turbo cover, and I figured I could keep the MAF sensor itself from getting hot with this thing. That way, in case the sensor itself is getting hot and not actually the air, this will keep you from having those false temperature readings. That's my thought anyway. Ta-da! Check that out. That's pretty cool. That looks so motorcycle-like. And then this thing doesn't really fit the way I wanted it to because it's a little bit small, I guess, for the application. But it does fit around there, and these springs will connect over here like this. I don't know how I feel about that, but let's give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, before we install that, what I want to do is get a base reading. That way we can compare before and after to see if it's even working. I've got a blue driver right here, and it's going to connect to my phone, and it tells me the MAF, the mass airflow sensor data. So it's going to tell me the range that the air intake temperature is, and it'll even show me the low and the high temperature. I've also got a digital thermometer right here, and I'm going to take different tests around, but basically what I want to see is at the end of the test drive, how hot is the air filter itself. So between those two data points, we'll be able to see if anything's changed. Sound good to you? Okay, we've let it warmed up. Before we take off, let's look at this. We've got 109 degrees on the intake temperature, and the engine temperature is 189 degrees. And for reference, it's probably about 52 degrees outside right now, sun shining. So let's go take this for a little drive around the block, and we'll see what happens. Alright, check this out. So, if I can get it to focus. Come on. You can do it! Come on, you can do it! Alright, I turned it off so you could hear me. So you can't see the temperature that it is now. But you can see there that the intake temperature got all the way up to 145 degrees at its max. Engine temperature, 100 and what is that, 98 degrees. Alright, that's our reference points. Let's check the outside. I'll start it back up again. Let's check the temperature of the filter. The filter is 100 and, holy crap, surely that's not right. 179 degrees it says. 180. It's climbing. 184. It keeps climbing. 190. Anyway, that's hot. Let's see what this is. 166 for the metal piece right here. Let's check right here. 157 for this piece right here. Let's go back over here. That seems really high. 196 degrees. Yeah, it's pretty hot. I wouldn't say it's 200 degrees hot, but it is hot. Check the rubber, in case that's giving us a false reading. The rubber is 165 degrees. All right, base test. Let's check it with the engine off just to see again. 162. Right here is 131 on the aluminum, and right here on the rubber, on the silicone, is 142. And on the back rubber of here is 150 on the rubber of the filter. Okay, this clips into here. Now, let's see if I can put that blanket on. Oh, it's so tall. Oh man, there we go. Oh, ow, ow, ow. That feels good. Sexy, isn't it? Hello, little chicken. The box goes in like this. There we go. And it bolts in into two places, one down here and one on top of the intake, both to the engine. And if you're wondering, yes, I do have a drain down here for in case it starts raining while I'm driving. And no, I won't be able to have this on the trailer while it's pouring down rain unless I cover this up. So I plan on making, I don't know, a little piece of something to cover this up in case I've got it on the trailer going down the highway while it's pouring. Alright, check that out, punks. So the hardest part of that whole deal was getting this to seal with the hood. Obviously the hood's kind of curved. It's got all these little pieces in it, like right here. You know, I could have cut all that out, but I just decided to make it work, and it does fit very tight. Let's make sure one last time. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. Here's the test. Uh-oh. Something changed between my last attempt at this. By looking at it, I think it's actually hitting right there on that spring, because that spring makes it taller Not only that, but the layers I put on there. So let me adjust that. And there we go. That's all it was right there. I needed to push it down below that piece of the York. So now it closes. It's a very tight squeeze though. You got to push on it a little bit. But that's good because it makes this seal very tight right there. And of course it's starting to rain. So I don't think that'll affect it though. Let's get this thing warmed up and do the second test. Okay, the engine is warmed up. For scientific purposes, we are at 68 degrees on the air intake temperature and 189 degrees on the coolant temperature. And outside is about 55 degrees. Let's go for a ride around the block. I'm noticing a huge difference. So the intake temperature right now is at 64 and it's not climbing, it's just staying right at 64. Coolant temperature 190. Doing the same route that we did a little while ago. Taking it just as fast as I did before. Alright guys, we made it back around the loop. Check this out. I'm really impressed. So the max air temperature is just now when I stopped, it went up to 72 degrees. It's kind of weird because it's opposite from before. The faster you go, the colder the air intakes are, and when you stop, that's when it gets warmer. Whereas before it was the opposite because it was in relation to the engine temperature before. So right now we're at 73 degrees just sitting here idling. But during that whole drive, it was between 64 and 66 degrees. Look, now it's getting warmer. But engine temp holding steady at 192. That's awesome. It works much better than I had anticipated. Let's check the filter temperature. Filter temperature is climbing now that I opened the hood, but it was at about 100 degrees here. That's kind of surprising seeing as that it's reading 70 degrees inside there, but as you can see everything is much cooler. Of course the outside doesn't matter, it's all about the inside temperature in here. But still, much cooler, 120. Let's read the rubber back here. We were reading that before, and we've got 112. With the hood closed, the temperature of that filter actually drops to 94 degrees. 91 up front, 92. And right here on the front rubber, 88 degrees. So it's cooler obviously with it closed because it's only sucking air from outside and not from in here, which was hot. I can do one of those model-y poses like the girls do on Instagram, sitting on the tire. So what do you guys think? Is it ugly as hell? Or does it not matter because it's under the hood? I think it doesn't matter. The improved performance, I think, overall, we'll see in the long term. The negatives are that it's kind of difficult to get to anything over there. If I roll over and need to pull the spark plugs, it's just going to take that much longer to remove all this. But I think the pros will definitely outweigh that. I think it's going to bring down the intake temperatures, obviously, but maybe even the engine temperatures and improve horsepower and performance. So that's what I'm going for. Drives really good that second time around. It seemed like it had a little more pep. I don't know if that's just all in my head or what. But you guys let me know what you think. And I will test this out this weekend and let you know on Instagram. So follow us there, over there. BleepinJeep is the Instagram account. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And check out this video right here because you're going to enjoy it just as much as this one. We'll see you next time.